Hello there. So the Kenobi trailer just dropped, and oh my god, I've got to give it to Lucasfilm. They absolutely deliver with their trailers, with the music, the set pieces. It just pitch perfect. It's awesome seeing Ewan back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can't believe it's been 17 plus years since Revenge of the Sith. And he looks like he's really struggling with those consequences and the fallout of the fall of the Republic, losing Anakin Skywalker. He looks really rough. Really disheveled. He looks a little lost in terms of what he should be doing, but he seems to be watching over young Luke, which is really cool. But yeah, he seems to be really struggling, which is going to be an interesting little aspect on how they focus on how he's dealing with that fallout. The TV shows continue to be a perfect blend of things from the movies, the games, the comics, the animation. Here we've got the Inquisitors, which are really cool. I love their spinning lightsabers. I just think it's such a unique and intriguing take on lightsabers. We might see helicopter lightsabers. We'll have to wait and see. That's one thing I hope doesn't happen. But I really hope that they do bring on an interesting fight choreographer so that we get some really unique lightsaber duels. Something that I would really like them to try and match the tone of the lightsaber duels from the prequels. Maybe not as clean because obviously with the Inquisitors not being trained as well as the Jedi, there needs to be some sort of level of roughness to it. But Ewan's a fully trained Jedi. He needs to be able to do the stylish sort of lightsaber battles. So I'm going to be really interested to see how they utilize those, and I really hope that they're not overly flashy, but still really interestingly choreographed with some cool little set pieces. The Grand Inquisitor is back, this time played by Rupert Friend from, I've seen him in Homeland, and he was really good in that. Now I've seen him in a bunch of other things, and he's an absolutely fantastic actor. Unfortunately, I don't think he's the right actor for the Grand Inquisitor. They've seemed to have changed the look of the Powans, the race that the Grand Inquisitor is, from what we've seen previously in Rebels and Revenge of the Sith. He's got sort of more of just his normal head, maybe a little extended, but not so much the oblong size head that we're sort of used to with the sharp pointed teeth and the yellowish eyes. I really wish that they'd just sort of stuck with Jason Isaacs, who voiced him in Rebels. I think he's got the perfect sort of facial structure for the Grand Inquisitor. And also the voice is just, I feel, iconic at this stage. But he's a fantastic actor, Rupert Friend, so we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out, but I reckon he's going to do a pretty fantastic job. It was really cool watching Obi-Wan watch over young Luke at the homestead. It makes me wonder what the show structure is going to be like. So obviously with the Book of Boba Fett, we sort of had flashbacks, and it took a while for the story to sort of catch up to the present day sort of thing. So I wonder if it's going to take a couple of episodes of Obi-Wan watching over Luke, reminiscing about what he could have done, what should have happened, what's he to do now, that sort of thing. Or are we going to sort of jump straight into the action? It makes me sort of think about what the Inquisitors are doing on Tatooine, what tips them off that leads them to Tatooine. Because we obviously saw in the trailer that Kenobi is doing a bunch of planet hopping. He's going to different locations and things like that. So something obviously has to motivate him, and I want to know what that motivation is for him to stop watching over Luke, to then go to different locations and see what's happening. It makes me think maybe there's something going on with Leia and he wants to protect her as well. I don't know. I'm just making a guess here, but it's going to be really interesting to see what tips off the Inquisitors to lead them to Tatooine, and what leads Obi-Wan to abandon his job of watching over Luke. I really loved seeing Joel Edgerton back as Uncle Owen. The character is pretty bland and one-dimensional in the original trilogy, only obviously in the start of the opening scenes. But it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic develops between his character and Ewan's character, to get them to where they are in A New Hope, where he's referred to as a crazy old hermit. As I mentioned before, I'm really excited that we're going to different locations. I feel that during the course of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, Tatooine has started to become a little old hat. We seem to be spending a lot of time on there, and obviously the story has to start on Tatooine because he's watching over young Luke. But I'm really excited about going to a bunch of new locations. I think we saw the Inquisitorius Fortress. I can't remember if that's exactly what it's called, but it's in the Fallen Order game. Sort of like an ocean planet with a big fortress in the middle. So that's going to be really cool. We've got a planet that looks similar to Coruscant. I don't know if it's Coruscant. I'm sure there's plenty of other city planets. But it's going to be cool to sort of start on Tatooine, but then sort of branch out And again, expand that universe, expand that story of locations, characters, all these new things, so that we've got new stories and new locations and new avenues to tell different stories. I think it's going to be a driving force of the new TV series to sort of introduce us to a bunch of new characters that we can grow to love, that then get developed in further comics, games, movies, books, all that sort of thing. I'm glad they showed restraint in not showing us anything of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader. I really think that they're going to make us wait until they actually appear on the show for our first glimpse. I think that's going to be a really amazing reveal, and I really do hope that they hold that completely off until the show and leave it for the show. Let the hype build, and really let it sort of fans anticipate it, and when it happens, have it be absolutely amazing. Makes me wonder what sort of other characters might show up as well that they might not be showing. Obviously with Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, we've got a bunch of cool cameo characters. I don't want just cameo characters for the sake of characters, but characters that make sense for this story at this time in the Star Wars history. So potentially Hondo. I don't know, Cal Kestis is around obviously at this time because he's dealing with the Inquisitors and things like that. I don't know, there could be some really interesting characters that they could bring in, or they could purely just focus on Obi-Wan and his journey, and that would be fine. But it just makes me wonder what new characters we're going to be introduced to, what recurring characters we're going to be seeing again. It's going to be a real treat. Overall, it was a pretty damn good trailer, and it makes me wish that May 25th could come here much sooner. I'm still pinching myself that we're getting brand new adventures of Obi-Wan Kenobi in a couple of months. But yeah, that's about it from me. Let me know what you guys thought of the trailer and what you think might happen in the show in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!